Hey Jimmy,
Brother Zach, what's going on, man? How we feeling today?
pretty good.
Yeah, good deal. All right, man. Thanks for taking time to be on my show. I wish we
Hey,
would have
no
done this
worries.
sooner.
Hey, like everything, it just happened.
Yeah, yeah. I reach out to your people, they get in contact with my people, and we make it happen. How it works. Um,
Yeah.
we first met each other as professional wrestlers with the Timmy Takedown event that we did for Timmy Global Health. That was a really cool experience to be a professional wrestler for the day. What do you want to document about that experience, buddy?
Um, that it felt pretty awesome to be able to take down the two wrestlers, Dr. Doom and I forget the other guy,
Cargo.
but
Yeah.
yeah, Cargo.
Yeah, man. Um, I wanted to document this because I thought it was really interesting. That show, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it yet on Netflix. It's called Wrestlers. And it documents kind of the life of being a professional wrestler on the road. And it follows Ohio Valley Wrestling. And I don't know if you were part of those early events at the Knights of Columbus, but I can remember when Ohio Valley Wrestling was the developmental program for the WWE, and they were the people that would come down and set up the ring for the Timmy Takedown. So, we're seeing early versions of John Cena, Shelton Benjamin, Brock Lesnar, Batista, like all the main guys eventually that were on the roster for Raw and SmackDown were in the beginning of their wrestling career when I did the Timmy Takedown for the first time. So that's really cool
Oh
looking
my
back.
god.
How many people we got to see as kids. you know.
Yeah.
With all that being said, who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up, man?
Well, John Cena,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I think that was the one that stood out to me.
Oh yeah, he carried the company for a while, and he's gonna be finishing up his run here because the actors' strike just ended, so he doesn't have to wrestle anymore. Um, let me I don't know if you recall it. My dad, he would be the MC and announce everybody and do the intro music. What was do you remember the character that you were like for your for being a
Um,
wrestler?
I changed it a few times, but I was Zack Attack.
Zack Attack. Yeah. That's always a good branding for you.
What was your name?
Uh well, it's really the opposite of what I am now. It was the Flash. Yeah. So, I don't think I've ever been quick in doing anything. So, I just wanted to be the opposite of what I am. Maybe that's why I picked that name. Um
Yeah.
for folks who haven't seen Timmy Takedown before, it's a professional wrestling event designed for rehabilitation patients and folks with disabilities. And Zach, for folks that don't know, what is your diagnosis?
Uh, Cerebral palsy,
Okay. Yeah, I did.
specifically, spastic diplegia.
Okay, so does that mean only your legs are impacted like mine? That's similar to my diagnosis a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. It we're like on this. We've gone to the same doctor and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that physical therapy and the daily grind of having a disability can be a lot sometimes. I struggle sometimes still putting on my socks and shoes. Are there things that you struggle with that somebody may not understand right away?
Um, well, my socks and shoes, I can get them on pretty quick, but um, I think it's, I think when I stand up, it's the balance of like getting your shorts up or your pants up
Hmm.
and trying to balance while you're doing that. It's
Yeah.
kind of, as insane.
Yeah, you just take your time with it, and then eventually it all gets taken care of. Um, you know, uh, I went to Carmel High School. You went to Noblesville, right?
Yes.
Okay, I won't hold that against you. What were you involved with? Thinking back in high school, I really thinking back, I've done the radio and television thing for a long time. That's really been one of my main interests. What were some things that you were involved with?
Well, um, in high school, I was involved with our unified track and field team, which allows people that have disabilities to compete. Like at Carmel, like at Westfield, for stuff.
Wonderful. What was your event that you did? And
Uh, Shot put was my main event, but I did run 100-yard dash.
I love it, man. How far could you throw the shot put? Was that yeah?
Um, like 15 feet.
Wow. See, I would get weighed down by that. Like that's even too much for me. I'll stick to the press box and and stick to calling it, as a broadcaster,
No way. I that. Oh, and I think I met one of your old resource teachers this year.
Oh, is it
Uh,
Miss Cruz?
yeah,
Yeah, right. Her daughter ended up being a resource teacher, and she told me that yeah, you were one of her students. That's a small world, brother. A small world. Yeah.
yeah. I told her that her daughter, because she is my physical therapist,
Okay.
she she beats me up.
That's right, man. Physical therapists whip you into shape. I was thinking back, I used to get physical therapy in school. Um, it can be kind of annoying sometimes, but what are some things that you've learned from physical therapy that help you now?
Well, I didn't really have physical therapy with school. I had to go out, or I had to visit doctors or whatever. But um, I think I think that one thing that I've learned ever since I graduated high school was just take things, for, as slow as you want or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's your life, no one else's.
Yeah, don't confuse speed with progress. Like you don't have to meet a certain deadline within a certain amount of days. If it takes longer, it takes longer.
Yeah, like, like I, I had a fear like that I was going that I was going that I was feeling overwhelmed because I I thought, after high school I'm going to Purdue, but as we all know, crap happened and
Yeah, that's life.
yep, and and I fell 2.5 weeks before graduation, suffered a 4 month concussion.
Oh Lord. Sorry, man. God.
Hey, it's fine. Yeah, weren't you at my graduation open house?
Yeah, buddy, I made it over there. That was really cool to document that. And um I'm sorry to bring this back up, but since you mentioned your concussion, one thing that I learned about, at least in my experience with physical therapy, like you said, to take things slow, but also one thing that physical therapists taught me is that it's a good thing to learn how to fall in our situation, like fall the right way as opposed to falling hard and fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, in my situation, there were a lot of problems. Like, I was lifting something above my head,
Oh,
and I fell back, and then
oh God, yeah.
the momentum carried my head back and stuff.
Oh man, those are the most dramatic falls right there. Nobody wants that, man. Oh my gosh. That's awful.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I did notice you sent me a couple videos, and we're gonna get into your experience. I want to talk about your time with the Boy Scouts because I know you were heavily involved with that. And then you also are a pilot, which I'm jealous of. Like you're more bold than me in a lot of ways, brother, which we'll get into. But I noticed in the videos you use a scooter, which I used the exact same model when I was in college. Does that scooter help you move from point A to point B pretty quick?
Well, in that video that you're talking about, I used that scooter for that trip because where we were, I've tried to walk it with my walker, and and the walk just it would just tire me the heck out.
I get
But
that. No, I get that
by
totally.
by by midday, we just rented one just for 7 or 10 days, and yeah, it saved my energy.
Okay. And just to clear this up, because it's been a while since I've chatted with you, did you end up enrolling in college yet?
Yeah.
Okay, are you still there or no? I forget how old we all are.
Um, I am enrolled, but because there are some rules and stuff, I I can take some classes or whatever.
Okay. Well, I remember fondly taking that scooter from point A to point B, and everybody knew when I was close to class because you could hear me zooming around the corner. You could hear me from a couple feet away. So,
Yeah,
something like that is always a conversation starter and draws some attention towards you. So,
yeah, yeah. Like me being, super tall and having a walker, yeah, you're gonna have some people look at you and stuff.
yeah. Um, Brother, let's get into your experience as a Boy Scout, and then first of all, how did you? Is there like a age that you have to start in order to like meet all the deadlines? I mean, how do you get involved with something like that?
Well, I there are two levels. Cub Scout, which is like the the elementary school thingy.
Okay.
But once you get into sixth and seventh grade, you transfer into the Boy Scouts. And what Boy Scouts teaches us is that the boys are the leaders, the parents or the adult leaders are just there to guide us and not lead us.
Okay.
Where as the Boy Scouts or whatever, yeah.
I I was really impressed when you talked about all the different skill sets that you were able to pick up from your Boy Scouts experience. I know that you learn about different plants and you learn to cook different things and kind of survive in the elements. Like, what would you say were the most impactful things that you learned about in that time?
Well, um, well, you you using unconventional ways to do the same thing
Mm,
like you would do or whatever, like building a fire or whatever.
what's a skill set that everybody should know, just in the event that you have to do it?
Um, how to survive outdoors for a night without your phone or anything.
Yeah, I don't think most people could do that now. Are you a guy that likes to go camping? Like, what's the longest that you've gone without your cell phone and being connected to the internet?
Uh, I think last time I did that, it was in 2016, and that was for like 6 days. And the Boy Scouts have a rule. I'm sure it's changed it now, but where the boys could not bring their cell phones on campouts. The only one that could bring them
Right.
are the parents or adult leaders.
You can appreciate this, and I know that nature is healing, but like the idea of me walking in the woods and being out in nature has like twisted ankle written all over it for me. Was it tough for you to do some activities because of how difficult it was to walk from time to time?
Yeah, yeah, it was. But my Boy Scout troop made made a lot of accommodations,
Right.
so that it won't be, as hard or whatever.
And forgive me for not knowing the credentials that you attained. But did you go after the all the badges and then eventually you become an Eagle Scout? Is that like the next level or no?
No, the Eagle Scout is the highest level. I think I earned like 30 some odd merit badges over over 6 or 7 years.
That's awesome, man. What would you say was the most difficult badge to get?
Oh. Um, I would say like family life merit badge just because um you had to document like 90 days of chores or whatever.
Oh man. Oh gosh.
Yeah, and because you and I are in a different situation that,
Right. Yeah.
you know,
You had to actually wash some dishes occasionally, every now and again. How's that? That's nice, huh? Gain an appreciation for mom and whoever else does that for you
yeah,
sometimes. Yeah, no, I get that,
yeah,
brother. Totally. Um, my dad and I bonded a lot over music, and I know I thought I caught in one of the videos that you sent me talking about your flying experience, that you started out doing it with your dad. Um, how did you get started with being a pilot?
um, I, I always wanted to be an astronaut, but when my sister told me that I was too tall to be an astronaut, I kind of jumped over to flying.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and it also helps because my dad fraternity has up at Purdue. What um housed Neil Armstrong for a while.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
He went to Purdue, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And he got to walk on the surface of the moon. Wow, that's still hard to believe that we're capable of doing that, man.
Yeah, and I kind of said when I saw that picture, that I want to be like Neil Armstrong. I want to be an Eagle Scout. I want to be a pilot. I want to be an astronaut. Well, uh, when my astronaut dream was crushed,
Yeah.
um, I just, I kind of jumped all into the aviation thingy.
Yeah. And one more thing about being an astronaut that I would have a tough time with. I don't know what the tallest is that you can be, but like you would have to do some intense training just to get ready to be an astronaut. Like zero G or whatever they and you spin around. I mean, I've seen some of the drills that they have to undergo. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, I I don't know the limit on how tall you have to be, but I know I'm too tall for that.
Yeah. I'm not even a fan of like roller coasters, even when it's supposed to be fun. So the idea of like being spun around for training would not be fun. Would not be fun for me.
Yeah.
Um, Take me back to the first time, one of the first few times that you went flying. Um, that had to be scary, buddy. Like the first couple of times you going up in the air. What does it feel like to fly a plane?
Um it just what I feel is at home feeling like I don't have to worry about my disability or whatever because I know stuff.
You're in control, right? Feel in control.
Yep.
I think that's one of the reasons I do this show is that when I'm doing a podcast, I feel like I'm in control, or at least I'm trying to get to that point. Um, what are the costs of like flight lessons? You know, you needed. I would want a teacher that's like old and gray. You know, somebody that's really experienced in what they're doing.
Yeah, my current instructor, I don't know how old he is, but he's mid 60s or late 70s.
Okay, cool. Um, and I remember taking the having to accumulate hours for getting my driver's license before I, could get that. How many hours do you have to book on a flight before you get to a certain level?
Well, I've already passed the the bare minimum required number of hours,
Okay,
but it's up to the instructor
that's probably good.
on when he wants you to to take the practical test with yeah.
Okay. Um, One of the vivid memories I have from my childhood when I went to middle school, I took tech ed, and one of the modules that you could do was a flight simulator, and
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool to be able to do that. Um, and I was surprised when you're operating a plane on the ground, you need to use foot pedals. As somebody with cerebral palsy, how difficult is that to move the plane that you need to on the ground?
Um it it varies because it just depends on the weight of the plane and stuff.
Right. Yeah, I would imagine with each plane, it's a little different. Um, I'm trying. I know that you established a scholarship, and we'll get into that if you want to talk about it. What is Able Flight? If you would explain that to the audience, please.
Able Flight is a nonprofit scholarship that provides disabled people or veteran or anyone who has a disability the chance to learn how to fly.
That's awesome, dude. That's really cool. Um, how can people get involved with that and donate if they want to?
Um, Go to ablefly.org and
Okay.
I think there is a donation tab or link or whatever
Okay.
that takes you there, and yeah.
All right, wonderful. We'll include that link in the description of this episode. And again, I've I've talked about my struggles and be the funny moments of learning how to drive. One thing that I still struggle with is that I use hand controls to get from point A to point B. Um, with this Able Flight program, are they able to like alter the cockpit if they need to so that someone can operate it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yes. There are hand controls in the aircraft. You know, if someone needs them or whatever.
Um, I recently went to Vegas a few months ago and had to fly out there, and I'm already nervous as like a passenger. And the few times that I've drove, it does feel different when you're driving the vehicle. When you're flying a plane, that has to feel different than being a passenger.
Uh, I just feel calm when I'm up in the sky just because I know what I'm doing, and yeah.
How much does it cost to have a plane and like upkeep it? It's an expensive hobby.
Oh man, you um well, because I have to have hand controls on my truck. Um, I have to have, it's stupid, but I have to have hand control for the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And, and, and we, and we, and yeah.
What's the farthest that you've been able to fly?
We recently flew to Wisconsin the other week.
Wow. Okay, dude. So like and I thought about this. So in the scenario that like both pilots are taken out, could you fly a plane and land it if you needed to in an emergency situation? Somebody calling on you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So like when they say we need a doctor and a pilot, you'll be the pilot to cover that that base, right? Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. It's a different kind of vehicle, but have you ever flown a helicopter before?
No,
You want to?
no.
They seem a little dangerous to me, and a couple of my heroes didn't fare well in a helicopter. So I
Yeah,
I would avoid it if I had the choice. But
yeah. On my simulator, I've tried flying a helicopter, but it doesn't end well.
um, and I saw your simulator in your room, like it's kind of a big video game, right? Where you got a big TV
Yeah,
screen and a yoke to operate it.
yeah.
Um, how much does a simulator like that cost to be able to practice?
Well,
If you don't
the
mind me asking. Yeah.
the actual computer was was like 600 or whatever, and and the and the and the curved screen was like I I forget, but
Yeah. You got like a
look,
curve. You got like a nice setup, dude. Like a real the curve is almost like the windshield for a plane,
yeah,
which is pretty awesome. That's great.
yeah, yeah, and then I was donated a a um a panel or to go along with my simulator and stuff, and
Cool.
that was worth a lot.
Um, what do you do you still have ambitions of wanting to be a pilot? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I know that I'm not going to get to I know I'm not going to be a professional pilot just because um the rules
Right,
say that if you're on this anti-anxiety medication,
right. Yeah, good Lord.
you have to take 2 days of tests, and then you have to wait 2.5 years to
Right,
even hear a response, and and it it seems easier to don't go down the medical road, which we're not doing. We're we are going to do a pilot license that allows me to be a pilot while using my driver's license as my medical.
okay. So you, I mean, you would be able to maybe eventually, if you can get the right plane and everything, fly from state to state. That would be so cool, man, to be able to take take a plane and go somewhere. You gotta have a landing strip though. That's the one thing. That's the one thing about flying is that it's great once you're up in the air, but you gotta bring it back down to ground level at some point.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
what I know that you've traveled quite a bit for different reasons. Is there any particular place that you'd like to go and maybe fly to?
Um, uh, well, we've been talking about this, and it's like Washington State, because an aircraft that might have hand controls in it is being built in Washington State, and a girl I know is out there who interviewed me on a podcast. So, yeah.
Cool. Um, where do you see? I mean, we're in the future now. I think 2023 could be considered the future. I'm certainly not as young as I once was, but do you see people using like jetpacks and more folks having smaller planes in the future?
Jetpacks, um, I, I think that would be a military or something like that. Um, the the smaller planes, yeah, they would. Yeah, I could see people doing or having their own plane if they wanted it.
Yeah. Zach, I think you're absolutely amazing, bro. Like with what you've been able to accomplish. Again, you're a lot less fearless than me when it comes to flying a plane and doing all that sort of thing. I know this seems a little crazy, but would you want to like go skydiving or something? Do something death defying like that?
Uh, hmm,
You'd rather be in control of the plane instead of jumping out.
maybe, but uh, how old are you?
I am 29 now, actually.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm an old man. I'm an old man. What about you,
Uh,
brother? I was thinking, well, how old are you?
24.
24. All right. Um,
Yeah.
if you don't mind me asking, since you are above drinking age, I remember being in college and going drinking with my friends, and they were kind of nervous to have me drink because of my disability. Uh,
Yeah.
what was your friend's reaction to seeing you drink for the first time?
Well, I don't drink. I may have a sip of dead beer once in a while, but
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah, I don't
And
drink either. I don't drink either. So
and, and yeah.
very good. No, that's that's a smart choice. Um, are you dating anybody? I wanted to ask that question too.
Um no, no, I'm not. Um but I do I do have a fear of someone who I like, who is also a pilot in Illinois. Um, finding someone else. But I know she has told me that she's not looking for anyone.
Yeah, that's how it
But
goes.
but but she still considers me a dear friend, you know?
Right. Hey, you're one of the best people I know, buddy. So that's why I wanted to ask. And I I wrote a comedy bit back in college. I've talked about this ad nauseum where I said there's multiple perks to dating people with disabilities, but I named three of them, and one of them was I think that like I'll never go on an extensive hike. You know, you won't have to worry about
Um,
getting up early for that sort of thing. Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
or
there,
or 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 you running away or whatever.
that's right. Also, the handicap parking sticker, you know, we get the closest parking
Yeah,
anywhere we go,
yeah,
right? Yeah, right up close. And then I think the last thing I said was more spacious seats on airplanes and for concerts, you know, so that's a nice perk too.
yeah, yeah. I'm I'm just trying to, work through that fear that she's not looking for anyone, but she considers me a dear friend, you know?
Yeah. People with disabilities have the same wants and desires as everybody else, and you'll find that person, buddy. I just wanted to document that for you in this show. When you're not flying planes or doing other things, what TV shows and movies do you like to watch, man?
Well, I'm kind of a documentary guy, like um America's Book of Secrets.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Um and just one that helps me kind of see how far we've come in the aviation world as air warriors. And they document all military aircraft from
Right.
World War II to nowadays. I mean, they're not done yet, but they have a lot of episodes and stuff.
Um, you a Top Gun fan? Tom Cruise, that whole thing?
Yeah,
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 like everybody else. Top Gun Maverick, that was a great movie, dude. Saved Hollywood, quite frankly. Um,
yeah.
what about music? Are you listening to like Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone all day? Is that the song?
Um, well, I, 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 I listen to music via my YouTube, and YouTube just play mixes of all of my liked songs that I've liked over the years and stuff. So,
Yeah,
so like classic rock, pop, some rap, not a lot, uh, some gospel music and stuff.
That's all right. Praise the Lord. That's great, buddy.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to also ask you about. I know that you again we've mentioned your scholarship. How does it feel to kind of pay it forward so that other folks can be pilots and have that opportunity? That's pretty cool.
It feels amazing to help out people that are not in the same situation as you and I, but like this one girl, she was in a car accident, and I'm not sure, but I think she's a paraplegic.
Mm.
I don't know if she's a quadriplegic or a paraplegic, but yeah,
Pretty extensive injuries, and she's able to fly now because of your scholarship, right?
yeah. And when I went up to Purdue, uh, she said, because I met her, I didn't know that it was getting my scholarship. Um, I didn't know who it was, but I she told us that that week was her 10th anniversary
Mm.
of being in a car accident or whatever. So, yeah.
Um, Taking a look back at your Boy Scout experience, being a pilot, um, what are the most important life lessons you've been able to learn through those experiences?
Well, um,
Tough question, I know.
um, I, um, I, I'll tell you what I've learned in my aviation learning and stuff. That that aviation is like a family. Like when we go up to Wisconsin for the you for the for an air show up there, it's all you always meet awesome people because they're there because they're they're aviation enthusiasts, they're pilots or whatever, but yeah, and and you'll find great people there like that friend that I was talking about earlier that maybe in the back of my mind there's still a thought of her being a girlfriend or whatever,
That's right.
but but she has said different times that she loves me like a friend and stuff, and that's all. So yeah, the yeah, just trusting yourself, I think, is the big point that I've learned in flying um and stuff.
Yeah, it's again, man, you're more bold than me to be able to get up in the air and do what you do. What would you say? I mean, I'm sure a lot of pieces of advice stick with you when it comes to being a pilot, but what's the best piece of advice you've received in being a pilot?
Um oh man.
Rise above it?
uh,
No, I'm joking.
I don't know. I I just have this thought of like failure is not an option. You know,
Right.
like you say, if it takes you longer to do something, who cares? You know, like yeah. Yeah, I think it's just failure is not an option. Just yeah.
What are some goals that you have for the future, Zach, that you want to accomplish? You've already accomplished a lot.
Well, um, uh, I want to give my pilots a license. I because we're working through that process, but yeah, and I want to I I other than give my pilots a license and help able fly with something. That's basically kind of in front of me and stuff.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, we can wait with anticipation for that. That's awesome. Um, I'll tell you, it means a lot for you to be on my show to document that we were at one point professional wrestlers together a couple of times. Um,
Yeah,
Zach, thank you for being here, brother. It means a lot to me. Me, truly.
thank you, Jimmy.
All right. Folks, to hear this episode again, make your way to linktree.com. So that's JBK on there, where you can get links to the show anywhere that you listen to your podcast. You can also donate to the show with the link in the description if you feel compelled. Until next time, have a great day and a better tomorrow.